Hey everyone and welcome to this video here on my channel. As most of you know, the Copper Age drop has come out and this is most of the items that was added here in this update. And what's better way to play around with this update than to mess with it in my adventure map, which is conveniently called Professor Cooper Copper Lab. This map is a story-driven map filled with puzzle, mystery, and challenges in order to collect 12 blocks and find out who among the workers sabotaged the laboratory. With that in mind, I do play a character in this map, which means this map will not be available to the public, but I do plan to ask some friends to play if they're interested and maybe post it in here in this channel. I am planning to tweak parts of the map, maybe change a plot in the story and some of the challenges, which means this is far from being complete. However, I can still show you the build aspect of some area. I will give you a quick tour to give a sense of what we're working with, then I'll spend time off camera adding some Copper Age detail, and then I'll let you know what I did afterward. Sounds good? Fantastic! Let's start with the starting area. The maps start in a house in this little bedroom, very lime green heavy, which I'll explain why in a bit. If we go downstairs, there's a kitchen right here, a sitting area, a living room with a fireplace, and a little under the stair closet. Through this door is a little back door balcony bit, where you can look at your crops and see that the lab is right across from your place. Amazing! Out this door, you'll find the entrance and the way out. To the left are the sunflower fields, and to your right, you'll find the center of your place. There's a windmill and a stable with no animal, a fountain as a central point, and a little swing. Cute! Inside that windmill in the tower section has a stair that leads to a totally not suspicious lever. Down here through this door is what I can describe as a storage area, maybe. I'm not too sure. I built this like 8 months ago. Hey look, a sitting area. Yay! In the stable, there is an access to the pen, with some small interiors. Nothing much. Up here's a little messy attic. Totally well thought out and not at all because I don't know what to put in here. Well, that's the entire area, so now let's add the detail. Here we are. I just finished. Let me show you what I did. First, I utilized the copper lantern, chest, and the statue. It's a small addition, but it makes the room feel fuller. One bug that I did find, or if it is a bug as of October 1st, is that different stages of copper chests combine into one, even if the chest that I'm placing is wax. Not ideal because the honeycomb use becomes a waste, and honeycomb takes a while to get a ton of, you know? Anyway, the shelves are slowly becoming my new favorite block. Is it even a block? Can we classify it as a block? I mean, it is placeable. Anyway, I did use them like a support on the wall, which I find amusing. Speaking of shelves, I did use a bunch downstairs. In the kitchen, the shelf can make for a really easy cabinet up there and down here. They also make fun table design. It feels more antique in a way. It also makes a great armrest for a sofa. I also replaced the iron armor here with the new copper armor to stay on theme with the map. I also added a shelf by the door with keys on it. Makes a great one of those key holders that some people have by their door, which is great. Outside, I added the shelves here to add a nice shape in the arch. I didn't show this area earlier, but the shelf make a great outdoor chair as well. With the swing, I replaced the iron chair with the copper bars. I could have put the copper chain, but I think copper bars makes more sense here aesthetic wise. Inside the windmill, I didn't really change the tower bit, but I did some in this room here. For instance, I added a shelf here, super cute. It felt empty here, so a shelf felt nice there. I also used the shelf as a backrest for this chair. Nice! In the stable, I used the shelf here as well. I think it's a great little details in the exterior. In the interior, however, I barely did anything. I only added this shelf. Literally the shelf. That's all I did. Nothing else. Anyway, that's all in this area. I think it's time to enter the lab itself. Here are the main lab. It does not resemble any lab at all. And you know what? It's okay because this is not real life. I don't think I will be adding anything here because the copper age provides little details, and the details that I would add would replace something that is already there. So in this case, I will be heading onto the orange tunnel. The orange tunnel is an interesting one because if I go inside, follow the stair, and come out right here, what do you know? You're in the main lab again, but on the second floor. Bet you didn't think there was a second floor, did ya? And I'm just gonna say this. This is a parkour challenges and your goal is to tackle them, and it goes all around the lab and back here in this place. I made sure you can access that from the first room, so if you were able to do it, I'd be impressed for skipping 8.3% of the gameplay. So here are the parkour challenges that we're about to copper age it up. Alright, just finished copper aging, so let's show my copper building. Starting with this area, I added shelves to the table, creating a fun antique-like desk. Feels more like she's definitely in charge in this tunnel. I also replaced the iron lanterns with the copper lanterns to feel on brand, and I added shelves to the sofas. In the next room, the back of the shelves has this really cool and fun design, making a great base for a wall. In the next room, I replaced the sign with the shelves for the cabinet. Not only made for fun design, but also makes parkour easier. I also have some copper golem here and replaced the iron chain with a copper chain. Nothing much in the next room, but hey look, copper lantern. Next room, also copper lantern. Past the space area and onto the next room, I replaced the trapdoor with the shelf. Not only do I think it looks good, but also prevents people from using trapdoors to get out. Hey look, more copper golem. Cute! Next room, bounce onto the custom textured slime onto the next room, where I had tweaks the crane to add some copper bits with a copper chest and copper chain. Onto the next room, I also replaced the iron chain with a copper chain and create this cool rust-like texture. Also, the copper bars makes for a pretty cool small beam as well, and I enjoy this. Onto the next room, copper lamp. So yeah, that's the entire thing I did for this area. The next room we're gonna try to copper up is the gray tunnel, cause once we enter, it leads us onto a cave, cause that totally makes sense. The main gimmick may be fun or an annoyance for the players, which you can probably guess, but I won't say anything about it, cause we're only upgrading the copper aging. When we enter the little hole, we have to traverse through the 3 caves, and this is one of them. As you can see, this is all custom made, very heavy slab and stair, and very tedious to make. Jeez, how much time did I had 4 years ago? Anyway, some notable parts of this cave is the water, cliffs, and mineshaft. On the next one, very mossy and more open space to give that lush cave feeling in Minecraft. And the last cave is the dripstone cave with lots of use of the dripstone, a cliff here, and a custom geode. Right here is the end bit, and the area here leads you back to the main lab. Now let us see what I can add to this. Alright, just finished, so let's head in. Right off the bat, you are met with a copper golem in its frozen state with a little wagon behind him. I utilized the copper chest like a little storage for the copper they collected. Right here is a new build, like a minecart system, so it looks like the chest came from a different section of the cave. Right here is purely desperation. I just didn't know what to put, so I added this. You might have noticed the abundance of copper golem here, and the idea is that they were frozen by someone to prevent the materials from being exported to the lab. Sad story for the golem, but it's going to be fine. Onto the next cave, I added a little storage here with a minecart right there, so it looks like it just fell from the cart system up there with a copper chain. Moving on, this section used to be dark, but I switched it to a little storage bit with a copper golem. That's all for this cave, and on to the dripstone, where you'll see a crane has been added, utilizing basically most of the copper age bit with the copper bars, the lanterns, the chest, the statue, and this shelf right here. I also added a bunch of statues around and little storage here, and that's basically all for the dripstone. I decided not to add anything here or here yet because I'm planning to tweak the playthrough in this area. Other than that, it is all done. Now the next tunnel we're going to be exploring is the brown tunnel, where you'll find yourself in a testing place, maybe? I'm not too sure because this is one of the earliest tunnels I finished. And the main goal is to open this vault right here, which I'm not gonna spoil much because I just don't feel like it. I guess we start with this room, which is kind of bland, so I'm going to spruce it up. This area is the main section. That's all I'm gonna say. So onto this room. I might add something, might not, but we'll see. I'll figure it out. But this is a classic one if you know what I mean. Behind this door is a hallway that leads to here, where I'm most likely going to completely change how this room works. So that's all there is in this tunnel. So you know the drill? However, I already decorated the room, so no need for transition. Gosh, this is gonna feel off when I edited it. Anyway, I put a lot of copper golem statues around. Totally no reason, don't look at it that much, or else. But in this room, I added a desk with the shelf block, with a copper lantern and a copper rod on it. This little addition just adds so much in this room itself. I really like it here more. This wall here went from tripwire wall to a desk and shelf with crafters, lanterns, and a golem. Cute! I also decided to add some desks here in this room as well. It's a little addition, but I like it. The hallway here became lovelier with a bookshelf and the statues, and this room did not change at all, but I added this copper golem here and here. Nice. And with that, this tunnel has been copperagified. That's a word now. So that's going to be it for this fun little video outside of the Relent SMP Season 4, which if you are new here, please do check it out, as I also sell story there and showcase my build. If you enjoyed this, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. That is very much appreciated. So with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!